Live. Let's do this. Let's get this painting on the road. How's it going, everybody? My name's Jose Trujillo. I'm the world's greatest living artist. And we're going to paint a still life here. A little glass. Whoa. That was intense. I'll paint a little still life here. A little glass still life. Some flowers. Just because we can. Maybe another glass over here. Maybe another glass right here. Something like that. This is how we're gonna get it started. The way that I paint is not for the faint of heart. I've said this many times, I'll say it again. Everybody's got to kind of find their own swing, you know. I'm not trying to teach here so that people go do what I'm doing. I'm hoping that I'm empowering people to not overthink it so much. That's all. You know, in hopes that maybe you don't overthink it so much. Not necessarily that, you know, I don't have a technique. I know a lot of artists do what I do and they sort of mimic the style or whatever. But my hopes for other artists is to maybe start finding their groove, because without your groove, you're not, I mean, you don't want to be an echo of another artist, right? So, and it's not really just that, it's like you won't find your own swing. And in order to find your own swing, you're going to have to go through a few setbacks. You know, you have to go through a few setbacks and pay some dues. You know, finding your swing as an artist, it's probably one of the most difficult things to do, because we tie it to value of art, and that is probably the worst thing you can do. When you're looking for your swing, how to paint, your style, or whatever you want to call it, you are going to be tempted over and over to think that it has to do with value. This happens a lot with artists. If my work was good, it would sell. And that's really the wrong, it's the wrong outlook. If my work was good, then people would want to exhibit my work. And that's, again, that's the wrong way of looking at it. Your swing has nothing, almost zero, to do with value or market value. And so the way that you paint has nothing to do with the value of your artwork. I wish more artists understood this. The value of your artwork has to do with the value of the marketplace. If people see it, not if people want to buy it, if people see it. If people don't see it, if enough people don't see it, it doesn't matter. You can bend backwards if you want to and paint till your face is green or blue. It won't not mean anything. So most artists are trying to derive their value of their artwork from the way they paint. And it's not from the way you paint. There are plenty of artists out there who paint much better than me or you or anyone, and are not getting peanuts for their artwork. Nothing. No one wants to buy it. And it's not because the artwork is, there's something wrong. It's because is because no one's watching it. No one's seeing it. Very few people are seeing it. Very few numbers are seeing it. So the work ends up being meaningless in the eyes of the marketplace. This is one of the worst things that can happen to an artist. So why am I saying this? So that you can empower yourself with your artwork and realize that your work is not tied to market value, and maybe that way you can begin creating artwork more with more freedom. You're more liberated, and you're not trying to be this or you're not trying to be that. And if you paint realism, and if you paint slow, and if you paint fast. It doesn't matter, because it is not tied to the market value. Some people think that because I paint fast, somehow that my work is more valuable in the marketplace. And I'm going to tell you guys, it's got zero to do with that. Whether you paint slow or you paint fast or you paint loose or you paint tight or whatever your thing is, it's got nothing. The value in the marketplace has nothing to do with it. And so many of us get stuck on that, and we're like, oh man, I wonder what can I do to make my paintings nicer or more appealing. There's nothing you can do to make your paintings more appealing. The only thing you can do to make your paintings more appealing is make sure people see them. That's all. You just got to make sure people see them. There's nothing you can do to make your paintings more. I know there's artists out there who are like, if I paint more, if I put more red in my paintings, if I all this nonsense around being an artist, and it's such a big nonsense, because the market is the market is the market. The market does not respect that you love your painting and you spent 10 hours or 2 minutes on it. The market does not give one flying fuck about that. The market only cares about whether they saw it or not. And this is why you can spend 50 hours making a painting, or 2 hours, or 30 minutes, or 15 minutes, or whatever you want, and it makes no difference. This is why you could be Chuck Close and spend weeks or months making a painting, or you could be Andy Warhol and screen print, I don't know, 50 paintings in one day. And both have nothing to do with one another, other than they were seen by the market. They were seen enough times where they started becoming valuable to the marketplace. And that is all. So I like to remind artists out there to not lose your ways in your artwork because you're trying to be clever, or you're trying to get seen, or you're trying to get your artwork be a certain way. I would highly suggest don't mess with your artwork. Let it be whatever it is. Don't mess with it. What you ought to do instead is, this is just my personal opinion, what you ought to do is make sure that the work gets seen. However you can. Exhibits, YouTube videos, I don't know, whatever. Right? You want to make sure that the work gets seen. That's really what matters. If the work is not being seen, it doesn't matter how fast or how slow or how great or how loose or how tight you paint. None of it matters. This is where a lot of frustration comes to artists. A lot of artists get frustrated with that. They're like, wait a minute. I used to paint very tight, and now I paint very loose, but I'm still not exhibiting. I'm still not selling. People are still not buying. I've gotten that feedback from many artists out there. And it's because guys, it's got nothing to do with your artwork. You should have never changed your artwork unless you want it to grow, you know. There is room for all types of artwork in the marketplace. The challenge is that people are not watching. The challenge when I do a Facebook Live or an Instagram Live is that only 3 or 5 people are watching. So how do I get more people to watch what I'm doing? That's really the challenge. If at the end of the day 20 people watch this and then I upload it on YouTube and another, I don't know, 50 people watch it, right? Now I have a little bit more people watching. Check it out. Look at that. So this is what I'm about, guys. Loose brush work. Almost Fauvist, Expressionist. Some people say it might even be Impressionistic. I started out with Impressionism, but then I realized that I'm much more cooler than that. Check it out. I hope that whatever you do, you empower yourself and go beyond those ideas that those myths out there that are placed and are not don't really serve you. They don't really function. Some people have been telling me, especially on YouTube, that they don't like it that I talk about other stuff and not the technique, and they get upset and they send me. You know what? I didn't make my channel to talk about technique and to talk about that kind of stuff. I have workshops for that. If people want workshops, they can contact me. I made the channel to talk about things that I know are not being talked about for artists. Things that I believe matter so much, and that most people just kind of talk about the surface of things and not really go deep into what it is to be an artist. So, bam, there it is. My name's Jose Trujillo. If you've liked what you've seen here, like, share, subscribe. I need help, guys. I need to share my artwork with the world. I need help. One thing that we can start doing is just liking. You know, liking the video, sharing the videos. Chanel, how's it going? How's it going, Chanel? How's it going, Deborah? Chanel says, yep, I can't change my style. It really does always come out. Looks great. You're very unique. That's your technique. It can't beat someone else's. No. every style, everything that you do, it doesn't matter how hard you try, it's not going to affect. Unless you do something like Jackson Pollock, right? Like Jackson Pollock and his brother used to paint pretty much the same way. They were expressionist painters. But then Jackson Pollock made a quantum leap, right? It was a quantum leap. It's something that 1 in a million, 1 in a billion, right? People weren't thinking, oh, let's strip paint, you know, on the canvas. People weren't thinking like that. People weren't thinking like that. And so he made a leap. He made a leap. And those are very rare things. Those are not things that happen all the time. You know. And so, there it is. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it. My name's Jose Trujillo. I am an artist, and if you guys want to see more of my artwork, I'm going to put, if you're watching this on Instagram, there's a link in my profile. You can visit my artwork. If you're watching this on YouTube, I'm going to pin a link somewhere below where you can find more of my artwork. By the way, this kick-ass piece is going to be auctioned on eBay. And those of you who don't like auctions, I have other prices on eBay. I have other things, but guess what? I have my Etsy shop up and running, and I've been selling steadily. It's been pretty cool, and I know that some people don't like eBay for whatever reason. You can go to Etsy, and I have a few other stores that I'm working on that are going to be popping up, and some of them are going to have very unique stuff, very different stuff. So there you guys have it. Take care. Adios.